Alright, so I hope you're excited because I'm going to teach you how to use trig now to solve for the measure of a side of the triangle, right? In the previous video, I just showed you I showed you what the trig ratios are. I showed you how to label the sides of your triangle and then just how to set up your ratios. So that's great. You have to be solid at that before moving on, or this will just probably be even more confusing. So hopefully you've got that nailed. You feel confident with that. But that's not why would we need to be able to do that? What's the point of that? Well, we're going to use trig to solve for the missing sides of a right triangle. Okay, so you can see I have triangle SMH here. It's a right triangle indeed, and this is 25 degrees. We have an angle, an acute angle, and we have a side, 8 meters, okay? Then we have two sides of this triangle that we don't know the length of, and I want to know what they are. I just got to know. I can't sleep until I know how long M and S are, okay? Which I know you feel the exact same way. All right, so here's what you got to do. You're going to be starting the exact same way we just started when we were just setting up the ratios, because we're going to use the ratios to solve. So I'm going to mark my reference angle, and I'm going to label my side. So I have the hypotenuse across from the right angle. I have the adjacent side, and I have the opposite side. Okay, great. That's all review. Now, the next thing we have to do, which is new, is we have to figure out which ratio, the sine, the cosine, or the tangent, that we're going to use to solve for our sides. Now, let's solve for M first, okay, for the hypotenuse. All right, you can see I did write SOHCAHTOA here. Remember, some old horse caught another horse taking oats away. That's just very helpful to have right in front of you, just as like a visual reminder of what the ratios are, or maybe you just have your notes in front of you that you just took on the ratios. But either way, you just want to have that in front of you just so you can remember what the ratios are. So, like I said, we're going to solve for M first, and we have the adjacent side. So you want to figure out which ratio works with the A and the H. So I go to SOHCAHTOA. Where are the A and the H right beside each other? Right here. They come after the C, and the C stands for cosine. So that tells me we're going to use the cosine ratio to solve for M. Okay, so let's write our equation. We're going to have the cosine of 25 degrees. Okay, remember in the other notes I mentioned they had that Greek letter theta right beside the ratio. I said that stood for the angle. So now instead of writing like the cosine of S, we're actually putting in the cosine of 25. And you'll see in about 32 seconds approximately why that is pretty cool. So the cosine of 25 equals, it's A over H. Okay, I don't normally write the fraction bar. You can if you want. In this case, A over H is just 8 over M. Okay? So quick recap. How did I know to use cosine? Well, I marked my reference angle. I labeled my sides. I have the adjacent side, and I wanted to solve for the hypotenuse. So I looked at SOHCAHTOA to find which ratio works with the A and the H. That took me to cosine. Okay, now, for the next part, you're going to need your calculator. Okay? So here we go. Now, the great thing about this ratio is that this cosine of 25, that is just a number, okay? I know it's weird because we have this word in our equation and what the world is happening, but you can just put it in your calculator, and this is super exciting because now you get to learn what these three buttons mean: sine, cosine, and tangent. Isn't that great? Now, before you start anything, you have to be in the right mode. You have to be in degree mode. So if you go to mode, shocker, typically it's the third one down. You can be in radian mode or you can be in degree mode. I've already put my calculator in degree mode, but if it's not, just highlight that and then second quit. Okay, if you're in the wrong mode, you're going to get different answers and you'll be confused for hours. All right, so cosine of 25. Boom. Look at that, just a number. So for right now, we're going to round it up to the nearest hundredth. So 0.91 equals 8 over M. So on this page with these examples, I'm going to round to the nearest hundredth. And then on the next page, I'm going to show you how you can be even more exact with your final answers because I love being exact. All right, so here's our equation. 0.91 equals 8 over M. Oh, now we just have to solve this. That's not bad. Now, I had you review how to solve proportions because that's how I have my students solve these equations. So if you put the 0.91, if you go over 1, now you can see all we have to have is a proportion, and we just have to cross multiply and solve, okay? If you don't want to make it a proportion and you want to just solve it the way that you already know how to solve it, fine, I don't care. Plus, I can't even see what you're doing. But this is what I normally teach. So when we cross multiply, we have 8 times 1, which is 8, equals 0.91 times m. All right, well, now we just have to divide both sides by 0.91. And we get m equals 8.79. 8.79. Okay. Did I do that right? Cosine 25. Boom, boom. 8 divided. Yeah. Okay. So then that's how long that side is. 8.79. There it is. Not super exciting to finish there, but you just solved your first trig equation. I hope you feel excited. We are now going to do the other side. Okay, so I'm just going to scrunch this up a bit. Now, we're going to use the same reference angle, so you don't have to worry about changing the labels or anything. You're going to keep them there. But now we're going to solve for S. Okay? Now, when we're doing this problems like this where you are solving for two different sides, I mean, it's obviously going to be two different equations, but I always tell my kids one thing to think about is I'm just going to use this 8 again to solve for S. I'm not going to use this side that we just solved for because heaven forbid if we messed up and then we took this number to plug in to solve S, like obviously we're going to not get the right answer for S. So that's just like something to think about. So I have the adjacent side. I want the opposite side. Look at SOHCAHTOA. Which ratio uses the O and the A? Oh, that's right, the tangent. So we're going to use the tangent here. So the tangent of 25 equals opposite over adjacent. In this case, it's S, which I'm going to write as X actually, because S looks like a 5, over 8. Okay, there we go. All right, now the tangent of 25, just a number. Tangent 25, 0.47. Okay, so we have 0.47 equals x over 8. Okay, now again, at this point, I make it a proportion because that's just what I do. You don't have to. So when I cross multiply, I get x equals 0.47 times 8. So this, when your variable's on the top of your fraction, it's actually one step less of work to do. 0.47 times 8 is 3.76. And that's my answer for that side there. All right, there it is. That's all it is, right? It seems weird at first and awkward because these ratios and there's words and what in the world. But then once you do a couple, it's like, oh my word, so easy. And you might actually enjoy it. All right, so I'm going to go to the next page. And if you didn't print these out, you can just go ahead and copy down that triangle. Now again, if I was teaching this, I would probably pause at this moment and say, all right, you guys try it first. I'm going to give you a head start, and then I'm going to do it. So you can do the same thing if you want. Now I will say, when I go over this, I'm just going to show you a slightly different way of like putting it in your calculator to get an answer that's more exact than rounding. So I'm just really picky about it, which, like I said, you know, you're not taking a test or anything right now, so it's not a huge deal if you don't do it my way, but when I'm posting answers and such, like, your answer will match mine exactly, you know, if you do it the way that I do it. Okay, so if that's something you care about, then maybe do it my way, all right? All right, so we have this side here, 15. We don't have these two sides. This is our reference angle. First thing you got to do, mark your reference angle, label your sides. This is the hypotenuse. This is our opposite side, and this is the adjacent side. So I say we solve for the hypotenuse first. Okay. So, oh, I didn't even write SOHCAHTOA at the top. Oh my gosh, I'm slipping. Right? You want SOHCAHTOA right in front of you. because you're thinking to yourself, self, I have the opposite side, I want the hypotenuse. Which one works with the O and the H? Dun, dun, dun. That's the sine, my friends. So we're going to set it up. The sine of 39 degrees equals O over H in this triangle. It's the opposite side, which is 15, over the hypotenuse, which is our G. Sorry, don't get confused by the fact that this side is, the variable is O, but this is the opposite side. Maybe I didn't think that through. That should be not an O. But there we go. Okay, now, like I said, I'm just going to do it slightly differently this time for a more exact answer. So let's go ahead and just act like we're solving this and not put this in the calculator yet. So if I put this over 1, I get 15 times 1, which is 15, equals the sine of 39 times G. Okay? I know it looks super weird. Now, if we're solving for G, our next step is just to divide both sides by the sine of 39. Okay, remember, the sine of 39 is just a number, so it's, we can just write it as a sine of 39 instead of putting it in our calculator, because here's why. Now in my calculator, I'm going to do 15 divided by the sine of 39. And that is going to give us the most exact answer that we could have. So this is, instead of entering the sine of 39 up here and rounding up, and then dividing by that rounded number. Okay, again, I just like to be exact, and this is as exact as you can be. So G equals 23.8. Now, when you're doing it like this, you can just round to the nearest tenth. That's fine. I think that's what all my directions say on my worksheets, round to the nearest tenth. Okay? Now, let's solve for the other side. We want the adjacent side. So, again, I'm just going to stick with the 15 just in case we mess this. I know we didn't mess it up, but this is just what I would do if I was taking a test or working on something. So we're going to use the 15, which is the opposite. We want the adjacent. Which ratio works with the O and the A? Boom, tangent. So set it up. Tangent of 39 equals O over A. In this case, that's 15 over A, or O, or whatever variable you want to use. So again, let's just ignore the fact that that looks weird. We're going to cross multiply and solve. Okay, just writing this out. Tangent of 39 times A. Okay, now we're just dividing both sides by tangent of 39, ignoring the fact that there's like a word in our math problem, because we're going to put it right in our calculator. Okay, 15 divided by the tangent of 39. Boom. 18.5. So A equals 18.5. There you go, ladies and gents. I hope that all makes sense to you. Of course, if you have any questions, always feel free to message me or email me. If this was like, if you just don't feel like you get it, just go back and watch it again, okay? Once you watch it a couple times, I believe that you will just start to make sense to you. Also, I did post a link to another video just from YouTube. I didn't make it, but maybe watching someone else's explanation of SOHCAHTOA will just make sense in your brain. So if you're watching my videos and you're like, I just don't get it, then watch someone else's video and maybe you'll like how they said it. Okay, I won't be offended. So once you think you understand this, you're going to go back to your trig basics packet. You're going to do numbers 13 to 32, setting up your ratios and solving for what it's asking for. I think in all those problems, it just has one side labeled as X. You're not going to be solving for two sides. All right, so hopefully it goes well. I just love teaching this. I always get super excited. So not nearly as fun doing it virtually, but it's fine. We'll survive. All right, thanks for watching.